Wow, well, this is unfortunate. Scott Cawthon is apparently being cancelled. At least that's what a lot of YouTubers would like you to believe. Ironically, a lot of conservative YouTubers would like you to believe. I don't see how. He's a self-made man. He's an independent game maker. He's a self-made millionaire. And quite literally, just look at the sales. It's even more popular than Undertale was, his entire series. So I don't know how this works. Anyway, I've got cream in my coffee and I'm going to enjoy it. But he's not being cancelled. No rich person is being cancelled. It's like the J.K. Rowling being cancelled situation again. How? People are still buying her books. People are still making films out of her books. She's still making millions of dollars out of it. Even if people totally ignored her, you know, she's still rich. Nobody's cancelling J.K. Rowling. Nobody's cancelling Scott Cawthon. He's fine. Believe me, he's fine. Now, death threats and doxing? No, that's wrong. Anybody who does that really needs their head examined, or at the very best, needs to be arrested for it. But everything else, I don't know what the fuss is. I honestly don't. So a group of LGBTQ people have given out their concerns as to who he's giving his money to. And they have every right to be concerned about who he's giving his money to when it comes to politics, especially since a lot of those people are responsible for anti-trans bills currently going around the country, especially since a lot of those people that he's supporting are anti-LGBTQ. And they're entitled to be concerned about that. They're entitled to be upset about that, considering that it was their money when they bought the game that went into funding a political campaign, a political party that is dedicated to their destruction. Now, you might think that that is a little exaggerating, but I'm going to put in the crotch bar down below a link to everything that Donald Trump has done for the gay community. And then you can come back to me and tell me, are they being paranoid? Are we being paranoid? There's nothing stopping you conservative types, you Cawthon supporters, from continuing to buy his games. Nothing. You're not going to put any damage to his wallet, okay? And the LGBT community is not going to put any damage to his wallet. Unless you're concerned that the LGBT community is actually bigger and more influential than you would like to believe. In which case, good. In which case, maybe Scott should be listening to his audience. But the LGBT community, particularly the trans community, which has been affected heavily this year, has every right to decide whether they're going to continue supporting Cawthon's work or not. Nobody's cancelling him. The only thing I see here is a bunch of YouTubers who have found yet another drama that they can make clickbait out of, that they can make money out of. I'm actually kind of glad that my channel's not monetized. I don't monetize any of my videos, largely for copyright reasons, and largely because if I'm dealing with what I feel is an important charitable political discussion point, it shouldn't be monetized. But these people are monetizing their videos, and the way I look at it, they've seen a drama about a man that they love who happens to be conservative, and they're going to milk it for whatever it's worth. I can guarantee you, Bounding Into Comics is currently making their video right now. I can see it. I can see it right now. Nick Rakita is currently making his video right now about the crimes committed against Scott Cawthon. But Scott Cawthon wasn't being sued for anything. Scott Cawthon is just being called out for his support of people who are anti-LGBTQ. And the LGBT community has a right to be upset about that. You cis people who believe that men should be men, or are against the gay community or whatever, I don't think you really have an opinion on this one way or another. The only people who have an opinion on this are Scott Cawthon and the LGBTQ community. Because in the long run, this doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect Scott. You're still going to buy his games. You're probably going to buy his games doubly so now because of this cancel culture that he's taken advantage of. And yeah, he has taken advantage of because he literally put it in his non-apology that he's going to continue going on at the risk of being cancelled. Scott, nobody's fucking cancelling you. I'm not cancelling you because I never bought your games. I played the fan games on my channel, but I never played your games. The only game I actually played, Five Nights at Freddy's wise, was a copy that my child bought. And if anything, they have to live with that. But me personally, doesn't affect me. I mean, you have done a lot of good for the community in some respect. You have given money to support fan projects. Good on you. I'm proud of you. You've supported cancer prevention projects. You've done a lot of good for a lot of charitable events. And normally, I wouldn't question your political affiliation. I really wouldn't question your political affiliation. But in this case, considering the kind of year that we've had, considering the kind of year that the LGBT community has gone through and is currently going through, we have a right to be concerned about who you support and where that money goes to and what the people who do with that money goes to. We have every right as the community that is affected by your donations. It's not cis people that are affected by this. It's not straight people that are affected by this. It's us. We can't cancel you. Nobody can cancel J.K. Rowling. She has her supporters. Nobody can cancel Scott Cawthon. Nobody can fundamentally cancel Vic Mignogna, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. That's just the way fame works. What you can do is cancel people on the streets. The average person who makes a mistake on the streets, you can destroy their lives utterly because they've got nothing to hold on to. They have no fan support. But as for you, Scott, you don't even know what cancel culture is. The only thing you're concerned about is how much of a reputation you have lost with the LGBT community as a whole. And I'm pretty much sure that some people in the LGBT community will support you. Will say, okay, this is just a thing that happened. And good on them. If that's how they feel about it, fine. Whether I agree with that stance is another story altogether. But you're not being cancelled. Nobody's cancelling Scott Cawthon. Nobody. But this is just going to go on, really, isn't it? We're going to see video after video of clickbaiters trying to make money out of this. I've already had one clickbaiter try and drag me into a podcast over this. I don't do podcasts with bigots anymore. I don't do podcasts with people whose minds have been made up and there's no way I can change their mind. There's no point in that debate. If you want a discussion on it, whether we agree or disagree, that's fine. But I'm not going to go into an arena where there's already a mob that's already decided. If you want to support Scott Cawthon, fine, be my guest. I don't care. It doesn't affect me in the long run. What does affect me is what the people who receive Scott Cawthon's money do with that money. And I have a right to be concerned about that. I have a right to have a very legitimate concern about that. I've tried to be fair and balanced about this as far as it can be, but it does affect me. And you can either respect that opinion or you can't. I don't know. Maybe I'll see this video all over YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, if you agree with Scott Cawthon, if you think this is way too much, fine, buy his games. If you don't, then don't. That's the nature of the market. That's the nature of the free market. That's how it works. If you upset somebody, if you offend a certain group or a certain minority, that's the risk you take. I don't know. I'd like to say there's something we can all learn from this, but you've already made your choices, you've already made your decisions. This isn't about how other people feel about the situation. It's just about how you lot feel about the situation, about how you personally feel about the situation, and everybody else should feel exactly the same offensive, outrage as you do. I don't see it that way. I'm part of the LGBT community. I'm concerned. Offended's probably a strong word, but yes, I'm concerned. But I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I don't expect everybody to see my point of view. And I certainly don't expect Scott Cawthon to see my point of view. That's all I've got to say on the issue. Ciao.